Well, I started doing a little bit of kayaking and starting in here in the local area in Bloomington, some of the creeks, and taken some pretty long trips, and got home one night and thought, I wonder if I could, how far I could go starting in a creek where it would end up. And I looked at the river system through Google Maps and realized that I could take Jack's Defeat Creek, which started in Steinsville where my dad was born, and take the water system all the way to the ocean. And so that's what I started preparing to do. And then I told Dad about it.
Well, one thing, the reason I wanted to start Steinsville, when I was little, I was born in Steinsville and messed around Jack's Defeat Creek, and I'd throw sticks in the water and things, and I always wondered where they was going to end up. And after Barry, I was 88 years old, and Barry was thinking about planning this trip, and I thought, I'd like to go and see where that stick ended up.
These end up in New Orleans if they don't get caught by something. Well, looking at I try to find information on, taking a trip that far. I think it was, 1,390 miles?
Yeah, I believe it was like that.
And we really didn't know. I think we figured 2 months was probably a good shot. I was able to get off work for that long, take off work. And we originally planned 2 months. Once we got started on White River, it took us, 2 weeks to go 20 miles. I mean, it was absolutely a nightmare from start to get to where we could realize we were in trouble if we didn't do something different. Dad had some ideas, and I had given, on making the boat, I ordered some of the pontoons that you get attached, and there's a couple videos on YouTube on how to do that. And so we ordered 2 of them, and then I took them down to Dad's house, and the next thing I know, he's putting together, attaching it to his canoe and putting it together.
And we put together a shanty boat that I had a canoe, a aluminum square back canoe, 16 foot, and we got some pontoons and attached to the sides and put a platform on it and put some uprights and some canvas over it, and we had a 5-horse motor that we had for a John boat, so we decided that was big enough because it was going downstream.
And then did you start with treated lumber? You're going to put treated lumber on it?
Well, what I thought we'd do, most of it, we bought some aluminum channel, so it was lighter. And then we used the aluminum channel for the framing to go across the canoe and attach the pontoons to. And then after the platform, we went ahead and put some shelter over. But the main thing is that we wanted to take so much stuff that the weight was going to be a problem. So we ended up ordering two more pontoons, and they come in 4-foot pieces, and they're 16 foot long. So we ended up having 4 pontoons, 2 on each side of the canoe. We was able to put more supplies on there.
I had no idea how much work my dad had put into this, because he must have been 1,000 screws to put all this together.
But I'm retired, I have the time.
But he's such an engineer type mind that he had worked it out to where you could actually lift up the bottom of the floor and do some storage underneath the canoe also. I was excited that Dad wanted to go. In fact, that's what he said he wanted for his 88th birthday, was to leave for the trip to go to New Orleans. So that we scheduled it. We left August 10th on his birthday, on his 88th birthday is when we took off. And I was excited. I knew Dad would be he's not only healthy, he's a great help, and he's a good thinker. And so, yeah, I was excited about it, and I didn't realize what we were in for when we started, but White River just about stopped our entire trip because it was so shallow in spots and so many stick-ups that you couldn't get through in areas. And it was just me getting out and walking in the water, pulling the boat behind us to get to one location to another. But I think it took us 2 weeks to go 20 miles. So my initial thought of being in New Orleans in 2 months was looking more like it might be 2 years.
I'd hardly ever traveled any distance on water. I did a lot of river fishing and lake fishing and stuff, but hardly ever went in any distance, maybe a mile or two. And I thought, boy, this is going to be exciting and adventurous. And I get to see a lot of wildlife and get to do some fishing. And yes, I was excited. I couldn't hardly wait till a time to go. And so, yeah, I was excited. I was happy to be able to spend a lot of that time with my son, and it wasn't all nice and smooth like I thought it was going to be.
We thought we were going to be Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn and put our foot in the water and just look up to the sky and just let the water take us.
Yeah, just lay back and let the currents.
We were in for a wide awakening.
But I'm glad I did.
Here we are, August 10th, my dad's 88th birthday, getting ready to leave from Spencer, Indiana, and end up in New Orleans, Louisiana. 1,300-mile trip, beginning at 1 o'clock, August 10th. Updates to follow. Here we go.